welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing a vintage cube draft. It's back on Magic Online, and I am excited. I've grown to enjoy this format quite a bit over the last 2 years or so. This pack has Chrome Mox in it. That is a nice generic mana, busted mana thing that will go in basically any deck. Cards I like in this pack as well. Wasteland's good, especially next to the Wrenn and 6. It's kind of... someone's going to take one of these, probably the Wasteland, then maybe wheel the Wrenn and be pretty stoked about it. I like Mana Dorks just fine, but Chrome Mox is a Mana Dork for non-green decks. Ponder's good, but Chrome Mox is pretty clearly my pick here. Okay, Mox Diamond. This is the Mox I like the least out of all of them. I've talked about this in other drafts where generally the point of putting Moxen in your deck is you can reduce your land count, but Mox Diamond requires you to have an extra land to work. Just kind of sus. I love Solitude. I love Ancient Tomb. Shallow Grave is solid. I don't love Show and Tell. Getting it this early, you can build around it pretty well. Storm Chaser's Talent is new to the cube. There is a combo in the cube now where if you Paradoxical Outcome with enough mana, you can go infinite with Storm Chaser's Talent. That's a deck you could build towards. I think I'm going to take Ancient Tomb, though, and just leave my options wide open. I have two generic ramp options here for wherever I end up. Stock Up, also new to the cube because it's relatively new to Magic. First time the cube's been up since this card's been out. It replaced Dig Through Time in the cube, and it's probably better a lot of the time than Dig would be. Forensic Gadgeteer does go infinite with Basalt Monolith. There's some stuff to do there. Magda Brazen Outlaw is unsexy, but no offense, Magda. The card is unsexy, but it does work well with my Ancient Tomb and Chrome Mox. Just that big red deck I actually do like a lot. Gadgeteer, whenever you cast an artifact, investigate. That's really... I think I'd rather... if this was like Broadside Bombardiers or Gut Trucial Zealot, I would take it here, but Magda is kind of the lower tier of the big red deck stuff. I'm going to let Forensic Gadgeteer jump into the deck. Oh baby, an early Oath of Druids. And there's a Rampaging Raptor. I passed Inti and Magda already. I'm not going to compete with the person downstream for me for this mid-range deck. Malevolent Rumble is really good if I get a Basalt Monolith. This is a way I can shred for it. This is a lot of looks at it. Or it can get the Gadgeteer. They are both permanents. Kitsa is just the best Merfolk looter ever printed. Brain Surge sees a ton of cards. I don't really know what my deck's doing yet. I think I want to take Kitsa here and continue staking my claim on these blue cards. Walk-in Closet, I have to read this. You can play lands from your graveyard, and when you unlock this, you get a Gaia's Will. Okay. Watley, when it enters, search for a basic land, put it in your hand, and then for 5, you could flip it into a Saga. That's not bad. 6 is pretty sweet. And ramping into 6 with my Ancient Tomb or my Chrome Mox makes it even better. Infernal Grasp is just good generic removal. Do I want to be like Simic value? I'm not really looking at this Jace. If this is meant to be mine, it will. I'll catch it on the wheel. This feels like the first good black card I've seen, and I've seen a lot of good red. I'm going to take Infernal Grasp, just as a generic answer to stuff at this point. It's probably just Consider out of this pack for me. In Shorkai, if I want to go big blue-white control, that is available. Shorkai is something I can jam out with Ancient Tomb. It does ask me to play another color, which I am mostly not committed to at this point. I'm not even committed to the colors I have. It's still early. If I just see some insane white card, I might take it. Yeah, it's Shorkai or Consider for me here. I think I'd like Shorkai. The upside's there. It's early enough. Rockrin Triome. This is a land that has all the... or 2 of the colors I've currently taken. Upheaval's a sicko. Okay, I would like Rockrin Triome. I even like Intrepid Adversary. Lion Sash is fine, but Upheaval is something you can build a whole plan around. Hedgemaze, Othari, Goblin Rabblemaster. Yeah, that mid-range red deck. Someone downstream from me is pretty excited. Sowing Myco's Spawn, I could betray everything I believe in. I do have Ancient Tomb that can actually kick it. Green is not one of the colors I have. I'm basically just blue. Edge Maze is an on-color thing I could do. If I end up blue-white with Kitsa, like Shorikai plus Enduring Innocence is pretty insane. All right, I ended up with Enduring Innocence, Ren and 6 Dark Confidant, damn, and all these mana dorks wheeled. Nobody's interested in green dorks, which are good with Upheaval. I think I want Noble Hierarch. Get a little Bant creature something or other going here. Nissa and Gearhulk. Gearhulk tutors up to 2 artifact creatures or enchantments with mana value 1 or less. I currently have Chrome Mox and Noble Hierarch this could tutor. Nissa's just a banger. Jetmir's Garden is a dual land for the 2 splash colors I'm thinking about. I think I'll take the Garden. Hex Drinker. If I'm in this green random creature shit, Hex Drinker's cool. Magda went all the way around on the wheel. Yeah, I'll take Hex Drinker. That's a great way to sink mana. Malevolent Rumble. Called that out the first time I saw it as something I might be interested in. Watley is now where I am. I don't think I'm going to play Dragon's Rage Channeler, so I'll put Raucous Theater in the maybe pile and Lion Sash. Okay, Bant, mid-range creatures with Upheaval at the top starting to come together here. And if I find a Basalt Monolith, I can make infinite mana. Upheaval wants ways to cheat on mana, which Noble Hierarch and Chrome Mox and Ancient Tomb all deliver on. I would like a lot more of that, but every deck wants ways to cheat on mana, so it's not like I'm in my own lane here. It just makes more exciting the most busted things in the cube anyway. Well, there's Ragavan. It's a color that I'm not really committed to, but it's a very good card. Am I actually a blue deck? So my early picks were blue, and then my late picks were green and white, indicating that maybe that's what's open for me here at the table. Miscalculation, I believe, is a strong card. Ragavan's just not even in either of these things. Red is the color I don't have at all, so I'm not taking Ragavan. I like Miscalculation a lot. This cheap interaction is good in the cube, and you can cycle it when it's bad. I will take that. Fairy Mastermind Grim Monolith. Talisman of Progress. That is 2 of the colors I am. Grim Monolith is more mana than that. Grim Monolith does not go infinite. I can untap it infinitely, but it doesn't make mana. Between Malcolm and Mastermind, I feel like I'll get one of these back. I think I want the Grim Monolith. Just a big ol' pile of mana. Speaking of piles of mana, here's Gaia's Cradle. When 2 mana dorks, like 2 playable green mana dorks and Ren and 6 all wheeled, I don't think this table's interested in green. I think I want the Cradle. I like Dispel Pierce quite a bit, but Delighted Halfling likely to wheel based on how the draft's gone. I think I might be just like Simic Upheaval at the end of the day here. We've got Sylvan Library Spellseeker. Spellseeker right now can only get Miscalculation. That's not very good. Yeah, I think I'll just take Sylvan Library. I could take Prismatic Ending. Sort these by color. What am I actually looking at here? I think blue-green is my base at this point, and then white is the splash color. Yeah, I'll take the Sylvan Library. And now that I have Cradle, I'm pretty interested in, like, Natural Order and things to do with that. Woodfall Primus is circling around somewhere. Okay, there's a Craterhoof Behemoth. This is something I can ramp up into just in creature mode. I could take Crop Rotation as a redundant Gaia's Cradle. I could take Treachery as just a sweet card. I respect the Death Reader Champion, but this is not the deck for it. I think I want Hoof. Just give me something at the top end to do with all my mana. Tundra helps me cast all these spells in my deck. Essica's Chariot builds out the green mid-range thing. Phyrexian Revoker is like fine. I wouldn't be sad to have that, but I'm also not that interested in it. I'm going to take the Tundra. Urson Monstrosity. 3/3 trample. Beginning of combat on your turn, mill a card and choose an opponent at random. Has to attack this combat if able. Gets +1 and gains indestructible for each card type among cards in your graveyard. That card hits pretty hard. I think Phyrexian Metamorph is probably better, but that Ursine Monstrosity is pretty sweet. Bristly William. Oh my god, Cauldra and Umezawa's Jitte in this pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next pack might have Stoneforge Mystic in it. It's Dismember or the Spec Cauldra. I think it's Dismember. I like Bristly Bill, but just removal into my Simic deck sounds pretty good. That's actually a funny wheel around the draft because I saw the Stoneforge Mystic first, but everyone else saw the pack with Cauldra and Umezawa's Jitte in it first, which means they saw the double equipment pack float by them, and then they saw the Stoneforge. And every single person in this draft could have said, I'll get at least one of those equipment back, and taken the Stoneforge. While I caught it on the last iteration of its loop, where I only get to know that there was a Stoneforge in the pack I'm about to see, which probably won't be there anymore. And it's true, it was not there. There is an Oust that is mediocre but effective removal. Generous Ent can get Jetmir's Garden and be a top-end threat if I want that. I don't think I'm doing anything with Thassa's Oracle. Yeah, I'll take the Ent. Mastermind and Malcolm both came back around. Zerta is another way to pop off with Basalt Monolith, a card that I still don't have, though I have 2 ways to make it go infinite. I think I like Malcolm more than I like Mastermind. Saluting through the deck. Yeah, they're both flash threats. Lava Spur Boots. I'm just not using any of these other cards. And if I find a Tolarian Academy or a Tinker, I want some density of artifacts to be able to take it. Got that Treachery back around, that's cool. Sedgemoor Witch. I'm actually going to hoover this up because we saw Chain of Smog. Oh my god. All right, well, now I have an infinite combo in my sideboard. That's worth considering. And with Gaia's Cradle, this is also infinite mana. Weird. Okay. I am blue already, so I don't have to make any hard decisions if I open a Time Walker Ancestral Recall. I'd really, really like just some dope artifacts, though. Mox Jet. Oh, and Basalt Monolith. Can I wheel this Basalt Monolith? A Mox is so much better than a Monolith, even though I do have a way to make infinite colorless mana if I thread 2 specific cards together. Am I even using infinite mana to good potential here? Not particularly. This is a big risk that there's a good chance I will just like incinerate my first pick of the draft, but I am taking the Mox. I would be happy to get back the Sylvan Caryatid, the Arid Mesa, the Savannah, or the Basalt Monolith out of this pack. All right, I'm taking the Jet. Price of doing business here in the Vintage Cube. Frantic Search, Temple Garden. And how important is it for me to play Shorikai? I don't think I'm getting this Endurance Innocence. Double white is too much. Lion Sash probably out as well. Let's do a mana value sort and see what this deck actually looks like right now. Enduring Innocence, you're out of here. So I'm basically Simic that could splash for Shorikai, and I already have 2 ways to do that. I don't need Temple Garden. Remand is pretty cool. Frantic Search is pretty cool, especially with Gaia's Cradle. That's an interaction. Yeah, I think I want Remand, just to tempo my way up into the big things my deck does. Torsten, Founder of Benalia. This is a way to spend a bunch of mana. Jace Vryn's Prodigy is a way to do stuff early. Marsh Flats gets Tundra or Jetmir's Garden. I think a fetch land that can get all my colors is really strong here. I would be happy on the wheel with Torsten, Fnatic, or Jace. Yeah, I'll take Marsh Flats. Mox Opal. I have 4, 5 artifacts, 6 artifacts in my deck. Birds of Paradise and Breeding Pool. Breeding Pool is dope. Birds of Paradise is probably better for what I'm doing, though. I like Lose Focus. Yeah, this Opal's tough. It's probably just not going to be on. I'm going to take the Birds of Paradise. I miss you, Breeding Pool. See you next time. I love a Teferi. Balance. I'm not a very good balance deck. I'm a deck that would desperately not want to get balanced. Teferi is something I can do, though. Tidebinder's fine. Spar's Headquarters is the full Bant Triome. I think my White Splash is covered, though, with 2 mana dorks, a fetch land that can get 2 dual lands. I'll take Teferi. Knight of the Reliquary, Ulvenwald Oddity, Elite Spellbinder, Preordain. And Smuggler's Copter is here, too. Copter is an artifact. It does... I got a lot of 0 power cards in my deck. I got the Spawn, multiple dorks. I'm actually kind of into Elite Spellbinder, but it does push me into white in a way that I'm not really happy with. I'm going to take Ulvenwald Oddity, I think, or it's Oddity or Preordain. All right, I'm going to take Oddity. I just want some meat in my deck. Get blasting. Force of Negation is good at keeping me alive. Deathrite Shaman is fine. I only have one fetch land. There's a fully on-color talisman here. I'm going to take the Force of Negation because I think not dying has to be a goal of anyone playing a cube. At Underworld Breach, this is the last new pack I'm going to see in the entire league, and the Breach is here. I do have Rumble. Boss's Oracle and Jace are already long gone. And Breach Rumble would have been sweet. I might just take the Scrapwork Mutt. It's an artifact and a creature. Did we do it? Did we do it? We did not get the Basalt Monolith back. That's okay. Gaia's Cradle, I think, is going to be a more reliable engine than that. Enduring Curiosity. Fascinating. That turns all of my creatures into Ophidians. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got a lot of creatures that could be Ophidians. Is it better than Brainstorm? That's going to have to be. It's in my deck. Temple Garden, caught that on the wheel. Support that to Fairy Splash. Cryptic Command. Am I ever casting this? Well, I'm not casting any of the other cards in this pack, so I'll take Cryptic. Look at this blue deck. Lose Focus, great counter spell. I don't have a natural order to grab with Mystical Tutor, so I'm basically just a Bant control deck or Simic control. Underground Mortuary. I can fetch that with Marsh Flats if I want to try to go for Smog combo. Like Marsh Flats and Generous and both get that. Yeah, the Smog combo might still make my deck here. I'm not ruling anything out. I'm not playing Thespian Stage though. Put Galvanic Blast in my sideboard. And Mentor, I love you, but you're in the sideboard. A Sedgemoor Witch, Chain of Smog. I guess I had that late look at Mystical Tutor if I wanted to make Chain of Smog happen that I wasn't fully thinking about what I might still do. Yeah, the Grim Monolith is still getting played. It's really good with the Upheaval. There are 30 spells in this pile right now. Nissa, not great. Leaving all my mana where it is. I didn't really end up in a great Malevolent Rumble deck. That was on spec to dig for the Basalt Monolith that I had a shot at and declined over Mox Jet. I'm not playing Cryptic Command. I don't need Lava Spur Boots. The Hoof at the top end is what I'm looking at next. I have a bunch of mid-rangey mess that I can also Upheaval to reset the board when the opponent doesn't expect it. So we can do the separate creatures and spells thing here. So I've got 3 soft or conditional counter spells, a bunch of mana, so I don't need the full 17 lands in this deck. Maybe I'll cut Sylvan Library, like I'm a little lower to the ground than I thought I would be. I took that pretty early. It is a pretty reliable source of card advantage, though. What would I cut instead? I do kind of like having the Hoof. This is just a way to close a door on a game, and it's somewhere to put my Cradle mana. All right, maybe I'm out. Maybe Upheaval is my big top-end splashy thing, and Great of Behemoth is not. Underground Mortuary is a half-color Surveil. I can get it off Marsh Flats. I can just play it. Is that better than Basic Forest in this deck? Marsh Flats gets Temple Garden, Tundra, or Jetmir's Garden, so all my colors are represented by Marsh Flats. Gaia's Cradle needs a creature in play to start doing anything. 5 basic forests for 3 1-drops. This is 9 green sources to 6 blue sources. But the green turns on multiple other blue sources in the deck. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Generous Ent cannot get a blue source, but it can get any forest. Okay, never mind. I'm going to cut 1 basic forest, add 1 basic island, and I'm not going to play the Underground Mortuary. I am aware that I have a Chain of Smog combo in my sideboard if I want to go for that. I have fetchable black mana plus Birds of Paradise and Mox Jet that can make that a thing. But I'm gonna start without it. Kind of a mopey mid-range Bant deck. It's the Magic I like to play, but I'm not really thrilled with this draft on paper, but let's go play the games. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, MagicCon, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 1. My opponent's username is Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. It's kind of unfair I have to play against 2 people, but I will keep my hand. Turn 1 Hex Drinker, hope it goes the distance. I'm suddenly glad I wheeled that Temple Garden. Really bringing the room together here. And ship it. A swamp. And they passed. Okay, cool. Now I have something to do with my mana. I don't need to just level up into a Fatal Push and die. Haha, look at that shit. They left up the Fatal Push. Raucous Theater. And Malcolm loots when he hits, and if it's the 4th time he's done that, then you can cast the discarded card for free. Pretty cool. I've never gotten to actually sing a song with Malcolm before. Mostly just loots around and then dies. Sensei's top. Boring. Here come the beats. Basic Forest I am interested in because that casts my Oddity. I'll probably loot away Basic Island here. Okay. The old second main extra mana. I'll discard Island and play Tundra. And I guess I'll just pass here. I can hardcast Force of Negation. I can loot away Mox Jet next turn. Opponent played a land and passed. Oh. That card's really good. Okay, I'm going to attack with Malcolm and see what happens in combat. They're trying to destroy my sweet boy. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to play out Mox Jet now, and my plan is hold up Force of Negation to stay alive, flash in Curiosity if I don't have to force, and then Oddity as haste, reload my hand. River Pyre Verge, this is the full 2-color land. They have an island to turn it on, and a mountain to turn it on. Sneak attack. No way, Jose. Force negation that. I hope I just stranded multiple bad cards in their hand. Ulvenwald Oddity. Okay. Hold up Counterspell versus Flash in Curiosity here. Drawing the Counterspell, I am actually gonna hold up. This is the power of Flash creatures in Cube. It's if you do something, I counter it. If you don't do something, I play a threat. Show and tell, bro, chill. Okay. Lose focus, and I will replicate it, just in case they have a Force of Will. They're going to have to pay 2 twice here. And one of these is a trigger. Alright, drop it. Have to imagine there's a large monster in their hand at this point. I've also got a large monster. They start taking chunks out of my opponent. And next turn, it'll start drawing cards as well. Just gotta hope I get a next turn. Eureka was removed from the cube this time around. It's just not in the cube. Okay. They appear to be a sneak and show deck. They also showed me no green mana, so I don't know how much I need to worry about Eureka, but I'm just saying, as far as enablers in this archetype go. I have 8 total possible blue sources in my deck. I guess if I pitch a blue card to Chromox, it's 9. They are a combo deck where I am interested in as much interaction as I can play. Can I get this Cryptic Command in here, and do I have to do anything to my mana base to make it work? Show and Tell is something that I'm interested in keeping Treachery in my deck against. What's the clunkiest, shittiest thing in my deck? It might be that Ulvenwald Oddity. It might be Huali. Yeah, I don't really want to be tutoring basic lands randomly off of a slightly better Grey Ogre. Okay, Cryptic Command's coming in, Huali's coming out. This might be ambitious, but it's just more interaction against a combo deck. And look at this, an opening hand with the Cryptic and the mana to cast it. Easy, easy, easy. I feel like I'm playing Modern in 2011. Look at this hand. This is nice. Jetmir's Garden, pass. Is Zapped in his Steam Fence. Main phase to Malcolm after seeing a bunch of interaction in my deck. That's a good call because I do have 2 different removal spells here, or different counter spells that I could have used if they didn't main phase that. That was pretty tight. I'm going to let Malcolm hit me once, and then I'll dismember it in the end step, but I don't want to tap out of lose focus or remand on a turn where they could cast Show and Tell. Discard a Grizzlebrand, that's scary. Are they just looting away baddies, or do they actually have a reanimate? Filtered some black mana in. Exhume. I would like you to lose focus on that. Do they have a Spell Pierce to get it done? The temptation to remand that was there, because they did use a temporary black source to play that, but also, like, yikes if they just play a swamp next turn. Okay, I'm going to dismember this Malcolm now. Stop the selection, stop the beats. I can fetch Tundra off of Marsh Flats to cast Remand, which will bridge me into Cryptic Command. Kiora the Rising Tide. When it enters, draw 2, discard 2. Threshold, when it attacks you, make an octopus. I will remand this. This is just, like, good enough. And I would like to see different cards. Sylvan Library, sweet. Now the choice is cast Forensic Gadgeteer and Sylvan Library, or hold up Cryptic Command. I think I want to dump out here. They could have cast Show and Tell last turn and didn't, so I'm going to take an investment turn and hope I don't die. And I know they just have this creature in their hand if I don't get on board. 3 PI. That's pretty good, since I've done 9 damage to myself already this game, and still have Sylvan Library in play. Yuck, okay. Sheoldred's Edict. Sylvan Library, save me. Upheaval. I like that card. Built my whole draft around that one. Oh, Treachery. Our third path Iconoclast Comrade? Okay, I'm not keeping Upheaval. If I Treachery the Iconoclast, I can hold up Cryptic Command, which means I don't need Miscalculation. All right, I'll put that on top as well. Not taking damage, I don't need to here. Treachery that thing. 1, 2, 3. Float an extra green for the road. So I get to untap 5 lands here anyway. Give me that. Untap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. Okay. Iconoclast with Cryptic Command up is here. Their hand is Kiora and some unknowns. Show and Tell Reanimator. It makes sense when you just have to draft big monsters highly. Okay, so I could bounce my Treachery here and draw a card. Turn target permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card. This does open me up to the combo, but I get to have Treachery still. And they kill their own creature. Boink. Sick. That's dead. I know they have Kiora, but now I can Treachery it, and they know that's true. Anyway, finishing that thought, Show and Tell Reanimator, you want to draft monsters highly. They do overlap in that regard, but Reanimator wants the monsters in the graveyard, where Show and Tell wants them in their hand. That early looting away of their Grizzlebrand might negatively affect future Show and Tell turns. Upheaval. Okay, put Upheaval on top. Put Noble Hierarch on top. And then I'll play Scrapwork Mutt, who will discard this island, draw Noble Hierarch, play Noble Hierarch, and attack for 2 with my Soldier. Now they have to use Strix if they want to trade off with this thing. Top is a pretty serious card in a post-Upheaval world that gives them a lot of stuff to do with their mana. Just trying to make sure that if I heave the world, it will work out my way. Upkeep, they spun their top. Raucous Theater. We'll probably see this card go to the graveyard because they put it there on purpose, and this would be the way to value it. Oh, they also have a Mox Jet. Well done. Well played, opponent. No attacks. They're chilling. Sylvan Library, continue to work. Looking at this Upheaval for the 3rd time. Okay, Upheaval on top. And do I want to pay for Malcolm? I don't think so. Top. Rim Monolith is great. That makes my Upheaval really easy. Another soldier-related chip shot here. Grim Monolith. Miscalculation I still believe in here. Like, even if they do go land Sneak Attack, the Miscalculation will make them unable to activate Sneak Attack this turn. I now have 10 mana in play, and post Upheaval, I get a land drop, so I have an 11 mana turn available if they ever put the shields down. Ooh, Strix is coming in. So is Soldier. I wonder if this is just a Wrath or a Ninja. I'm blocking the Soldier, for sure. And I do have the one red source in my deck. That and Birds of Paradise. I have the red land in my deck if I want this mud back. Malcolm, Forest, Upheaval, Malcolm. Hey, they're holding up mana. I'm going to put Upheaval on top and Forest above it. And I will just attack. I'm winning the race. They do have to do something here. Pushing my Hierarch. Okay, that's pretty good. That makes Upheaval worse. I'm no longer winning the race. I have Malcolm, though, that they don't know about. They also can't just ram good creatures into play because they know I have Treachery. The Hierarch was part of my rebuild plan post Upheaval, though. Stinks to lose it. They still have that Kiora in their hand and 2 unknowns. Strix is getting in. I'd rather race them with Malcolm than trade Malcolm for Strix. Okay, I have Malcolm now. I'm attacking for a lot more. Winning the race again. Put back Island and Upheaval in that order. I get to loot with Malcolm this turn, and I would like the ability to cast Upheaval, if that makes sense, to do. I don't think I need to do it, though. I've not been convinced that this is right yet. I don't want to lose to a counterspell. I could miscalculation to protect the Upheaval. I have enough mana for that. I just don't know if that's actually going to be good enough because they have so much mana. Oh, gross. This card's in the cube. Okay, well, here's Metamorphosis Fanatic. Top of my card deck is an island, so shuffling for... or cycling miscalculation doesn't make any sense. I'm going to let them Fanatic here, and they know I have Treachery. How they handle this will be interesting. Do they just get back Malcolm or 3PI, or do they just go for the big swing? Yeah, they want the swing, sure. I respect that. They could go to 3 and just draw a million cards. That did tap a bunch of mana on their turn, though, where miscalculation is now viable. They're playing Kiora. When it enters, draw 2, discard 2. I could miscalculate that, or I could just Upheaval next turn now that they're tapped all the way out. But I don't want to Upheaval. I want to own Grizzlebrand. Okay, I will miscalculate this with the intention of treacherying the Grizzle. Okay, hope they don't have Force of Will blue card as their last 2. Shorkai Moxjet. Put on top. Put on top. Okay, Treachery Grizzlebrand. Moment of Truth. Drew 7 in response. I have Grizzlebrand now. Would like to float a white with this trigger on the stack. And then 2, 3, 4, play Shorkai. And I'll attack with Malcolm. If they want to trade Strix for this, it's fine. If not, I'll loot away that Moxjet that I don't want. Okay, I'm passing the turn. I have their Grizzlebrand, but they knew I had this card, so they must have a plan for this. And they just drew 7. Got a fresh grip of 10 cards over there, which could include Sneak Attack and some big monster. But the monster has to actually beat Grizzlebrand, which isn't a given in Cube, if it's some just random shitter. Bone Shard's killing my Grizzlebrand. Okay. That puts Grizzle back into the graveyard where they can use it again. Another removal spell. I could still make pilots to chump block while I get my Upheaval set up. But another removal spell would get them in for 4. They get to gain 4 life anyway. Oh, they're flipping their top. Going for a big move right now. I hope it's not Thoughtseize. I've played this whole game around this Upheaval. God! Shit. Well, I could have stacked this differently, so that... No, I would have had to think about that 3 turns ago. Umezawa's Jitte. Okay. Alright. What do I do now? I start by activating Shorkai. This is going to see 2 mana sources. I'll discard this island. And I guess I will block with the Soldier. If I can crew Shorkai this turn, I can win. They're only at 5. I get to see a lot of cards here. Gaia's Cradle. Come on, deck. That was not it, deck. Okay, put back Cradle and Bird. We've seen Galvanic Blast in their deck. It's in the graveyard, though. Can I afford to go to 1 to see an extra card? What's even in my deck? Ulvenwald Oddity, Phyrexian Metamorph. Wow, that's good. Okay, Phyrexian Metamorph gives me some hope, some life. Okay, I'm going to put Temple Garden on top, and I'm going to take a risk. I'll pay the 4, keep a card, and then I have to use Shorikai here. Right, activate Shorikai. Generous Ent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I paid 4, I can't tap Ancient Tomb to cast this card. Oh wait, Gaia's Cradle works. I'm about to get a pilot. Discard Temple Garden. And then Birds of Paradise is, air quotes, free. And then 1, 2, 3, Mox Jet, Gaia's Cradle, Generous Ent, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can even crack the clue if I tap my Grim Monolith, which, what else is it doing at this point? Might as well attack with my pilot. It's not doing anything else. Okay, opponents at 4. They have Umezawa's Jitte. They can ram this Metamorph into my Generous Ent and gain some life. They could also thread together a sneak attack. They've seen enough cards, and we know it's in there. Show and tell, the coast is wide open. Ooh, Itali. Okay. This could be awful. Itali hit Dam and what? Dam and Force of Negation. That's... And they get to Dam my Generous Ent, which is pretty good. But that was pretty weak, all things considered. My Phyrexian Metamorph is still in the deck, which means I could have an Itali or a Metamorphosis Fanatic next turn. Yeah, damming my Ent. Damn you! Okay, Ent's gone. Metamorphosis Fanatic can attack again. Pretty low budget Itali, though. Is Birds of Paradise or Pilot better to have in play? Crew 8 is so much. Does flying matter? The Crater Hoof's in my sideboard, that doesn't matter. I think I will block with the bird and give myself a chance to crew Shorikai. It's bigger than Itali, and it's exactly their life total. Alright, here we go. Teferi. That one's in the deck. And Metamorph. These are all good cards. Okay. Time to figure this out. Alright, Forest goes to the top, and then if I Metamorph Itali, it'll just cast Teferi, if that's on top. Or I could Teferi plus draw Metamorph. That would cost... Right, I have 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana to spend. I could do it that way and then just get 2 wild hits. But then Teferi can't minus this turn, which could be its own different problem. Do I even want to minus Teferi? Okay. I'm going to Metamorph on top, and then Teferi draw Metamorph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, Grim Monolith, you've been called up. It's your time. Teferi, draw a card. Just making sure Itali is better than Metamorphosis Fanatic here, and I think it is by a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't afford to pay life. All right, give me that Itali. Trigger. Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. Thank you, opponent. If my deck can't win, I'll just play yours. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
My hand in game 2 is modest. I'm on the draw. I am heavily reliant on this Birds of Paradise, but I'm keeping. Flooded Strand from the opponent. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be Mox Jetting out Scrapwork Mutt over Birds of Paradise, but I will play out the Mox Jet just in case I get Time Twisted or Wheel of Fortune or something. Let's have that covered. Ponder. They surveilled to the top and then cast Ponder. Lots of dope card selection there. Did not shuffle. Blue to Delta. This looks like a Legacy deck. Everything they've done could just be... Is it Delver? Blood Crypt's a little different. And they did bolt the bird. Sad. Blue Source. Grim Monolith. Okay. I think I'm going to lead on Scrapwork Mutt and discard Lose Focus. I'm in the market for blue sources here. Okay. Opponent immediately validated by taking out my blue source, but I did find ways to spend mana. Cycling Oliphant. Raucous Theater. I wonder if they have a reanimation package or if this is just a selection and fixing engine, but I see black mana, I see a big cycling creature. I have to be concerned. They just dumped Burst Lightning. Okay, well, I'll level up my Hex Drinker and hope it gets there. Alright, we have protection from instants now. Just mini Progenitus doing its thing. I can get it to level 8 next turn and see what's left of the game to play. I got a Volcanic Island. I haven't died yet. It's a fairy. Alright, well, I'm just going straight to level 8. Protection from everything. Every single thing. Oh no. Tishana Sidebinder, they got me at the end. Okay, so this is still level 7, but it is a 2-1 until I deal with the Tidebinder. That was a good one for them to have. They're at 8 already. They've taken some beats. Basic Swamp. Horrible white-bordered Basic Swamp. How did that even get in the cube? Jetmir's Garden. Okay. That is another color of mana. It's white, which is still not a color that is immediately useful to me. Snapcaster. This is sick. This is just the full Plague Wind. Burst Lightning kills Hex Drinker. Snapcaster trades with the Mutt. And I got nothing left. Garden. Monolith. I need 2 blue sources before Upheaval matters. Yeah, that's dead. Oh no! A real Vintage Cube card. Ancestral Recall. This game was just getting to the point where they were slowly getting ahead, but only tenuously. Only because I'm color screwed. But now they are well ahead. Gaia's Cradle with no creatures. I can Mutt here. I have the red. I'm gonna do it. Mutt. Discard the Cradle. That's just not going to be part of this game. Treachery. Another double blue card. I did remove artifacts from the graveyard by making this play. Makes Barrogoyf quite a bit worse. But I think they're over the hump now. Combination of bolting the bird, which was just the right play, and then also me drawing all blue cards and no blue mana up to this point. And Upheaval could still win this game, but I just don't think I'm going to have time to do it. I can't get 2 blue in 1 turn. Narset. That makes it even harder. Oh, there's 1 blue. There's no chump block here. They have enough. Teferi can tuck one of these and I still lose. Yeah, I mean, if I had another blue there, I think I actually take over the game. But obviously didn't. And that's fine. Grip to Command versus Huatli. Yeah, I think Huatli's fine. We've seen Ancestral Recall. That's really annoying. Yeah, I think this is just the deck I'm going to play. This Underground Mortuary is calling to me, like the Green Goblin Mask. I feel like it should be in the deck, but I also feel like I don't have the courage to actually do that. I will keep. It's the opposite direction this time. Mono blue. I wonder if I win that game if I just attack with Hex Drinker without leveling it all the way to the sun before combat. Okay, another looter. This one lets me leave up a counterspell. Basic Island. Blazemire Verge that only taps for black. We've seen multiple red removal spells in their deck that they can't cast right now. Memory Lapse, okay. That's on top of my deck. That's really bad. I will pass the turn. Tough spot to miss a land drop. The full Time Walk Memory Lapse. That's when it's at its best. Black Lotus, you got that one too? Okay. Gross. I hope they cast some 5-drop. Jesus! All right, I mean, this is the Vintage Cube experience. It's also the constructed Vintage experience. Sometimes you just get vintaged. My opponent was smart and powerful enough to open Black Lotus and Ancestral Recall in their deck. What do you want me to do here? Okay, bounce their Narset at least, which gives me some action on, like, if they don't have another blue source right now. Oliphant, we know they play Volcanic Island, so they're going to have the blue source. There's the Narset. I will flash in Malcolm all the same. Gotta do damage somewhere. The red mana is on. And that's dead. Generous Ent, okay. Or cycle this. You're in trouble now. I think I want the Temple Garden. Why get 1 color when I could get 2? I actually have a line here to get Hex Drinker protection from instants before they can do anything about it using the Grim Monolith. If they just, like, target it with a sorcery or bounce it with a Planeswalker, that's going to suck. But here we go. Suddenly back in this. Narset, digging for... Don't show me a wheel. That's a sorcery. They can target Hexdrinker with it right now. It only deals 3, though. Chain Lightning, Snap, Chain Lightning is a line we've seen their deck capable of. Goldspan Dragon. Gorgebarn Durgan. Upheaval. I mean, that is one of the cards in my deck. I will attack Narset here. I could spend this turn untapping Grim Monolith, and then next turn Upheaval plus replay Hexdrinker. Okay. I will try that, and if I, for some reason, don't think it will work, I can flash in Enduring Curiosity. They have so much mana, though. Just millions of mana untapped, plus 2 treasures. Any counterspell cooks me. I would love if they just tap out for multiple giant threats. Dak Faden. Please don't steal my Monolith. Okay, they're looting. I'm glad I cleared the Narset before this thing showed up. That's a combo. Discarded 2 lands. We know they're holding Chain Lightning and 3 unknowns. Lightning getting my face. Alright, I'm at 7. End step, untap Monolith. I think this is my best chance to win. I'm going to attack Dak first. I would prefer he's just dead. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Upheaval with a green floating. This is the type of card that can catch up to a Black Lotus Ancestral Recall situation. Okay, they bolt me to 4 in response. Could snap bolt me to 1. Or just float mana and pass, then I lose. Oh no, what the hell is this? Occult Epiphany. Draw X cards, then discard X cards. Create a 1/1 spirit. If they had just floated mana and passed priority on Upheaval, this Occult Epiphany definitely would have killed me. But now I can bounce all their birds, too. Okay. Alright, I feel like I got away with something there. But I'll take it. Would I rather have Kitza or Hexdrinker in play? I would have to shock in Temple Garden to get Hexdrinker on a future turn. I think I'd rather have Kitza in play. Yeah, I have so many lands to loot away at this point. And I have to discard to hand size. I'll discard one of these islands. Yeah, Kitza has Vig. Volcanic Island, opponent must discard Vig and Prowess and loots. Alright, I'll attack first, and then I'll loot. Draw a Forest, which means I can play Hexdrinker now without obliterating myself. I probably should have discarded Temple Garden, not Island there, but hopefully I'll loot again next turn. Sylvan Library seems like a pipe dream. It does trigger Kitza's Prowess, but I don't think that matters. Okay, I'm just going to attack with my 2 creatures. And I'm going to play... I could play Temple Garden tapped. I think I'm going to play Forensic Gadgeteer. Tundra Gadgeteer. Just trying to get bodies on the board for this Enduring Curiosity to go crazy with. They're back up to 3 mana. We know they have a Hasty Flying 4-drop in their hand. Kitza, loot away Temple Garden. Gaia's Cradle, you don't say. That's a good card. Okay. Birds of Paradise is free. Gaia's Cradle. 4 mana. Sylvan Library. That triggers Kitza. Grim Monolith makes a clue. And then I can still cast Curiosity in combat. I'm making my run here. This is it. My big push. Okay, Tidebinder. This will probably counter Kitza. What is this targeting? Okay, it's turning off Forensic Gadgeteer. That's fine. Kitza's the more important one. And then I could level this up to 4, or I could get the Curiosity going. Yeah, I think the Curiosity's better. Attack with all my creatures. They'll probably block Hexdrinker. Oh, they didn't block anything. Nice. Enduring Curiosity, jump in. Leveling up is a sorcery speed ability. Can't do it there. Wish I could. Okay. Next turn, they can play the Goldspan Dragon again. I do have Birds of Paradise that can chump. I have Lose Focus if I get another turn. Chandra is really good. She can just plus twice and kill me. Okay, exiled Chainsaw. So I go to 2. 1 is a 9. This basic island is not going to be what the game's about. Activate Kitza. Dismember. I cannot cast. I have 1 black source. If I draw my Mox Jet exactly, Dismember is actually really good. But I don't think that's what's happening here. Sylvan Library. Put Forest on top and Huatli on top. Let me actually count this out. Teferi, Tuck, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have exactly lethal. Island. Oh, wait. I have to tap my bird, or I can leave bird untapped. Yeah, okay. White, blue. Noble Hierarch's free. White, blue, 1,000,000. Tuck the Tidebinder and then win. And I can force a negation anything they'd cast here. Get that out of here. And this is now a lethal attack. I should have sunk that mana into my Hex Drinker. Okay. I burned off some mana that I wasn't going to use, but had lethal with protection anyway. Okay. They've got a Planeswalker Narset part of their deck going on. Lava Spur Boots does pressure Planeswalkers in a way that's interesting. Knowing they have Dak Faden makes me a little worried about this Chrome Mox, but I'm not going to cut it because they have Dak Faden. Nissa could do a bunch of damage out of nowhere. If this is like a down and dirty slugfest, Dismember looks really good. We saw the dragon, and Tishana's Tidebinder has gotten us a couple times. I only won that game because of Upheaval. Do I stretch for Cryptic Command now that I've seen multiple top-end pieces of power? I still don't think so. Maybe Sylvan Library comes out versus this burn deck, and I just gotta rely on my cards being good, the ones I draw naturally. I think Watley's still fine. The Lava Spur Boots is kind of speaking to me, but I don't think I'm going to do it. Okay. All right, here we go. A turn 1 Kitsa if I'm willing to lose one of these other cards. Grim Lavamancer. Okay, that's good against Mana Dorks, which my deck has many of. Well, Generous Ent was born to be a mana source anyway. Now I don't feel bad at all about pitching that. Kitsa get in. We've seen Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning, but she does survive Grim Lavamancer if they can even get cards into their graveyard. Sheoldred's Edict does the trick. I've got another 2-3 where that came from. And there's my Upheaval. I don't play a basic Plains for this Teferi. Watley can tutor another island, or I don't have any triple blue spells. I didn't actually bring that in. Yeah, no chance of flipping this Watley. I'm in the Tundra market here. No attacks. Forensic Gadgeteer. We like that guy. I'm going to attack. Watley already has been worth a card, and if they just trade Tishana's Tidebinder for it, that's fine. If they trade Hull Breacher for it, holy smokes, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Deal. I do not want to play against Hull Breacher. I'm surprised they took that trade. They must be really scared of the Saga or something. I don't know. That's a really high value card to just trade off at 17 life. Okay, they set up a Sheoldred's Edict line to completely clear my board. And that's still fine. All right, deck, Tundra off the top. Force of Negation. Bummer. All right, the third color coming up pretty tough here. And they are pushing damage. They don't actually have to do anything here. Raucous Theater. Dumped an Oliphant. Malcolm. Okay, I have a card I can play. Let's hope they keep attacking with that Grim Lavamancer so this Malcolm can connect. I could trade with Lavamancer, but I think I'd rather loot. And there's a good possibility they're just going to Galvanic Blast this anyway. Yep, you're dead. I don't think that's worth a pitch. Jetmir's Garden, getting closer to Teferi. I can also Upheaval now. This is a basically no value Upheaval, though. Just resets the game. Wow, cycling Lorien Revealed when they had 5 mana is really interesting. They dumped Fabled Passage. Grim Lavamancer now ready to start activating. Scrapwork Mutt Teferi. I could play Teferi if he resolves. All right. I think I just have to take my chances here. Shit. All right. Well, Memory Lapse. He'll be back. It's not a bad card to have to draw again. I go to 8. They attack me to 6. Lavamancer can put me to 4. Yeah. It's getting ugly. And if they have the dragon, I just lose. Oh no. They're tapping 5. Oh, Chandra. Well, I have to force that because it does roast me. Life total still in danger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm actually just dead here if I don't tuck one of these creatures. And Teferi's just dead if I do tuck one of these creatures. Yikes, yeah. That Memory Lapse did just enough on the correct turn. I guess I tuck the Lavamancer and then Teferi just dies. Hey, they are killing Teferi at least. That gains me some life. Okay, it's ugly out in these streets, and they just drew Ancestral Recall. We were just getting interesting. My Upheaval's gone. My Generous End's gone. I'm dead on board. Miscalculation. Not what I'm looking for. Mutt. Dump this miscalculation. Moxjet. Dead. Okay, yeah. The cool tempo Grixis deck with multiple high-end pieces of power got me off balance just enough to kill me. I love decks like this. Good job, opponent. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the draw in the final round, positive record on the line. I am going to keep this. I know it's missing blue, but I do have Huatli. Any mana source gets me to my colors, and Dismember is a nice one to have around if you are just trying to be alive for a turn or two. One has got the Skull Clamp and the really nice Ursa Saga lands. They shipped it to me. Shorikai, there's that one. All right, deck, don't make a fool out of me. Any mana source. Sylvan Safekeeper. Are they a Nadu deck? Horrible if true. All right, deck, land. Birds of Paradise. I'll take it. I'll freaking take it. I'm not going to complain about that. Would have been better last turn, but it's fine. They can cash in the Safekeeper anytime for 2 cards, and Dismember became a piece of shit. If they have Nadu, I'm so dead. Oh my god. Well, here they are with their constructed deck. And for what it's worth, if my hand had blue mana, this would not be a problem at all. Yeah, I guess I just have to let this resolve. They equip Skull Clamp to Nadu, get some flips, and then I try to make sense of the world. Ursine Monstrosity. If they start getting greedy and sacking lands, this could backfire. They flipped a land into a land. It's probably okay. This isn't literally a constructed deck, even though it looks like it right now. They probably don't have deterministic, just flip 4 cards and you win situations, but they are going to have massive card advantage. All right, Ancient Tomb showing up right on time. Ancient Tomb, Huatli. I will tutor an island here, and I'll pass the turn. They can just re-equip Skull Clamp to Nadu. You can equip creatures that are already equipped by that equipment. There's nothing in the rules that tells you you can't. There's no rule that a dog can't play basketball. Here's the Ursine Monstrosity. They mill a card, it becomes a 5/5 indestructible till end of turn. Nadu gets a free swing in here. I'm just completely locked by the Safekeeper. Typical Bant control experience in all formats. You can never beat a Sylvan Safekeeper. Okay, I'm going to attack with Malcolm and flash in Curiosity. I need some cards. I need some cards fast. I'll draw one, then loot another. Discard this forest. I don't think I have any chance in hell, but flooding my hand with cards is how I keep up. Upheaval is my chance in hell, as usual. That's what I need. They're going to move their Skull Clamp around a bunch. Atraxa Grand Unifier's in their hand. So do they think they're going to shred Nadu enough to cast that, or do they have Natural Order in their deck? Safekeeper targeting Monstrosity. Malevolent Rumble. This Monstrosity could do a lot this turn. Rumbling. Tireless Tracker 6, 2 forests. They took 6. Monstrosity flips a forest. It's an 8/6 Shroud Indestructible. Trample attacks me if able. 8, 9, 10, 11. I will absorb the damage that I can here with Huatli. Leave myself at least able to tap Ancient Tomb if it becomes relevant, or cast Dismember. All right, Big 6 is here. Upheaval off the top. Ulvenwald Oddity. I can still see a bunch of cards this turn. I'm going to attack with Malcolm and Curiosity. Oh, that is Reach. Fuck me. I guess it's a tree, isn't it? Sure. I'll draw a card. It better be Upheaval. It's Island. Okay. So fumbled on my blue mana, which let Nadu resolve, and then there was no chance after that. But okay. I know what I'm up against. feel like I want this Cryptic Command. Maybe it should have been in the deck the whole time. I also feel like this Underground Mortuary should have been in the deck the whole time. I'm going for it. It's never too late to learn. Watley seems pretty bad. Does not line up well against what they're doing. Okay, Watley's out. Here we go. Generous Ent does not get blue. Yeah, I passed the breeding pool that I had a shot at in the draft. Well, this is the same problem as last hand. I am going to mulligan this. And this one doesn't even have Watley to fix it, because Watley's not in the deck. Funny how that works. I'm going to keep this in bottom. It could be Chrome Mox. It could be Hex Drinker. It could be Cryptic. I think I want the Chrome Mox. Okay, I'm going to bottom Cryptic Command. And I think I'm just going to Island Pass and decide next turn if I want to keep Chrome Mox around or loot it away. Like Enduring Curiosity is one of the ways I can take over a game. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay, I'm going to play Scrapwork Mutt and loot away the Hex Drinker. Ulvenwald Oddity. Yeah, I'm just looking for... I want something on board and Curiosity to start connecting. If they just turn to Nadu uncounterably, whatever, man. Safekeeper. They're getting all the hooks in. And Lightning Greaves. Okay, so they have the entire strategy here. I just have to hope that Nadu's not in their hand. Okay, Sylvan Library. Alright, Sylvan Library can suck my butt. I got Enduring Curiosity going here. Attack with the Mutt. They're not going to trade Safekeeper for this. And I'm going to fetch my Temple Garden. Get my colors lined up for the future. Okay, I have a creature-based draw engine. Surely your deck couldn't match this. Alright, just don't have Nadu in the hand. Oh god, they're casting a legendary spell. Nutrageous. Okay, so it's uncounterable, it's untargetable. They can spam activations, and they just had it in the hand. Just literally, there they are, every single card. Woof. Well, they're gonna draw 6 cards here, and the lands are gonna come straight into play. Woodfall Primus is a card they have. Forest is in play now, means they can still rumble this turn and get more Greaves activations onto their spawn. Remember when I thought this hand would be okay somehow? Spoilers, it's not. I actually really want to try Nadu in Cube. I've never seen it early enough to make any sort of plan out of it, which is very sad because obviously it's very cool if you get it early enough to be able to draft around it. Flash Primus, okay. That's what they're doing. That's the Atraxa, that's the Woodfall Primus. They might still have Natural Order in the deck, but now we at least know one of the things they're doing. Hex Drinker, let's keep going. Why stop here? There's Atraxa. There's Sneak Attack. Their deck is awesome. Yep, Nadu's attacking. This doesn't fly. It's just a cat. Ha! They have to discard a hand size. That'll teach you. Discarded Lava Spur Boots. That's fine. Your creatures all have haste anyway. Speaking of haste, what do you think about this oddity from Ulvenwald? Are you impressed? Are you afraid? I'll attack with my 2/4 power creatures. That can at least push through something they have. Probably just going to draw 2 cards here and then lose the game on their turn. Cryptic Command and Jetmir's Garden. Play the Garden. They're only showing 1 red source right now for the Sneak Attack. They could play it, but they can't activate it. But they do get to flip 10 cards on board, and we know their hand is full of creatures as well. I guess I just have to hope that they mess up and deck themselves somehow. Mox Jet flipped off of Nadu. Bristly Bill. There's Bill. I actually have the game if I get another turn, which is a bit of a stretch, but Cryptic Command, tap your squad, attack for 10 is lethal. And obviously I have to survive first. And they're dumping a bunch of +1 counters around the squad. Bill can double the +1 counters for 5, but it's happening. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to block with the Mutt. 1, 2, but I can unearth the Mutt. I have exactly 6 mana here. Scythecat Cub is here now. That gets really big. And they can put Greaves on that. I don't think I'm going to survive this turn, but if I do, I actually have a route to lethal, even if I have to chump block something. Another Forest in play. And I guess at minimum, they could flash Woodfall Primus and make a blocker at instant speed. Okay, yeah, I'm not winning this game. Just huffing my copium over here. I need them to make a huge mistake, basically. Fanatic of Ronus, Orcish Lumberjack. There's the Lumberjack. They can give that haste with the Greaves, sack a forest, then sneak attack a Trexa. Wow, that's so cool. Oh man. I'm very, 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 very dead. So they can sneak attack Atraxa, Woodfall Primus, and Craterhoof Behemoth this turn. Okay, I've seen enough. Their deck's awesome, and they drew extremely well to have their combo immediately both games. Yeah, I mean, when I drafted this, it didn't seem very good, and then the games played out, it wasn't very good. I think we were kind of evenly matched with the non-power aspects of that Grixis tempo deck. We were kind of in similar spaces of get some 2-for-1s, put some creatures on the board, maybe there's some cool planeswalkers at the top end. But that player just broke it open with the Black Lotus Ancestral Recall that I don't have in what otherwise would have been a pretty cool back and forth. But really, this deck just doesn't do anything. Passing that Basalt Monolith that I took the Forensic Edgeteer and the Malevolent Rumble early to try to make work, by the time that mattered, it just didn't actually matter anymore. What am I even doing with Infinite Colorless in this deck? I don't have an outlet. I don't have Walking Ballista or anything of the sort. I never found a natural order to make the Cradle stuff good. I never found anything to really make the looters good. I'm not doing anything with my graveyard. This was just a bunch of Magic the Gathering cards in what looks like a reasonable curve for a limited deck. Upheaval was my swing for the fences, and it did steal some games. It won some games where I planned around it the whole time. It won some games where my opponent cast Ancestral Recall and Black Lotus. I got away with that. And it was my live out in that last round against Nadu in game 1. So obviously that card's very good. But the rest of it didn't really come together. Just some random cards. I did at least have fun playing these random cards. These are in the colors I like and doing stuff that I enjoy doing. I love Bant Control or Bant Midrange, Bant whatever. But the deck just wasn't very good. That's it for me today. Stay tuned. I will record multiple cube drafts this season. They'll trickle out over the next few weeks. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.